If you're listening to this podcast on YouTube, for a better experience, switch to the video version. The link is in the top right corner of the video and in the episode description. Hello and welcome, I'm Fernando, a GP in the UK. In today's episode, we'll look at the NICE updates published in January 2026, focusing on what is relevant in primary care only. And this time, we have two updated guidelines relevant to us in general practice. The guideline on suspected cancer and on overweight and obesity management. The changes are minimal, so today we have a very short episode. Right, let's jump into it. And let's start with the guideline on obesity and overweight management. The update is narrow and specific and clarifies that height to weight ratios should only be used to classify the degree of central adiposity in children and young people aged 5 years and over. Before this amendment, the guideline included height to weight ratios for children, but it did not specifically say that this ratio should not be used in under 5s. This is because height to weight ratios in younger children may not be validated or appropriate. In fact, in children under 5 years, body proportions change very rapidly as part of normal growth. There's wide normal variation in body shape and fat distribution, and height to weight ratios do not accurately reflect central adiposity in this age group, and therefore using these ratios risks overestimating or underestimating adiposity. However, in children aged 5 years and over, body proportions become more stable, patterns of central fat distribution are more consistent, and the available evidence supports height to weight ratios in this age group, as they're more likely to reflect true central adiposity. No other recommendations were changed in this guideline, so everything else remains as it was before. Now let's move to the guideline on suspected cancer. In January 2026, the update information for the NICE guideline on suspected cancer states that NICE has removed an incorrect recommendation related to blood tests for suspected myeloma. However, when you look at the guideline as it stands, things appear a little confusing, so it is worth looking at this in more detail. Originally, the guideline listed a broad panel of blood tests for suspected myeloma in primary care. This included seroprotein electrophoresis and sero-free light chain testing, alongside a full blood count, calcium, and plasma viscosity or ESR. Benz-Jones urine testing was suggested as an alternative if serum-free light chain testing was not available. These tests are recommended for people with features such as persistent joint pain or an unexplained fracture. Subsequently, NICE amended the wording of this section to place greater emphasis on serum protein electrophoresis and sero-free light chain testing as the key initial investigations. So the obvious question is this: has NICE really now removed the recommendation to offer blood tests for suspected myeloma? At face value, this looks like guidance that is moving backwards and forwards. The confusion is increased by the fact that if you look at the recommendations organized by site of cancer and the hematological cancers, the guideline still clearly lists blood tests for suspected myeloma. So what is actually happening here? In theory, the update information reflects the official and authoritative change to the guideline. It may be that parts of the published recommendations have not been yet fully revised or synchronized on the NICE website. However, I have also reviewed other sections of the NICE website, including committee discussions and rationale documents, and have not been able to find any explanation for this change. That also raised the possibility that the update statement itself may be an error. In practical terms, my view is that we should probably continue to request blood tests for suspected myeloma until the guideline text has been fully updated and this discrepancy is clarified. That means we should request a full blood count, calcium, plasma viscosity or ESR, serum protein electrophoresis, and sero-free light chains. If serum-free light chain testing is not available, we can use the Benz-Jones test to check for free light chains contained in urine. I have raised the query directly with NICE and we should have further clarification soon. For now, this is very much a case of watching the space. So that is it, a review of the NICE updates relevant to primary care. we have come to the end of this episode. Remember that this is not medical advice, but only my summary and my interpretation of the guidelines. You must always use your clinical judgment. Thank you for listening and goodbye.